Welcome back, guys, and we are going to be getting underway with semifinals number 2 between Pol and XtinC. It's Terran versus Zerg time, and it's going to be time to see which one of these two players are going to be facing off against Nux into the finals. So we have our map pool. It's going to be first things first, Eternal Empire, pretty standard map, pretty much something these two players enjoy, but interesting enough that it wasn't banned against Pol. So Pol can go for some drops, can go for the siege tanks on to those openings, and we'll see how XtinC is going to respond. In the meantime, Everdream picked up by XtinC instead. He was able to talk about that when he was casting yesterday, one of his favorite maps in the map pool right now, knowing where to position and knowing where his opponents can potentially position can be key factors actually into map number 2. Finally, map number 3, Simulacrum, pretty standard right there. Gonna be a lot of potential for both cheeses as well as huge macro fights. We'll see what it's gonna be. It's gonna be time though to get it going into game number 1. Pol gonna be on that Terran race. XtinC on the Zerg. Gonna be a fun one here. And now in our next coming best of 3, and this, guys, is our second semifinals. After this, we are going straight into a BO5 instead. That's gonna be Nux versus whoever wins this out. But enough about that. Let's look into the here and now. We'll see if Pol can actually figure things out, make all those kinks and bugs work here for him, and squash those critters, or will XtinC be the one to show him the might of the swarm? And we've seen his rig yesterday, guys. We've seen how his game looks. Will the Picasso here in the Philippine community actually be able to get through his paintings, get through the art that is StarCraft 2 on low, and understand what's going on enough to take that victory? Seems like, though, we are going to find out that answer as we move into Eternal Empire. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we are back into our semifinals. This is the second match in the semifinals, and this time is gonna be a TVZ. Introducing first, on the bottom left, gonna be the golden boy himself. It's going to be XtinC playing the golden Zerg. In the meantime, his opponents on the top right, whipping at the good old green. It's not going to be dotted all over though. It's going to be Pol. Pol, aka Polka Dodge, Polka Dot. You can just add anything at the end of Pol. And I have a funny story for you guys about Mr. Pol. So we did have a little bit of delay due to him. So long story short, his hard drive pretty much wiped out StarCraft 2. And our lovely organizer, Mizzle, living pretty nearby to Mr. Pol, went all the way through the quarantine, guys. Probably put on a face mask and everything, social distancing and all the like. Gave him a laptop to use just to participate in this tournament. And Pol right now, sure, is gonna be in unfamiliar territory in terms of the rig he's using, but he's just happy to be here, and he's gonna be happy to compete against one of his good friends. In the meantime, for XtinC, well, we've heard his voice from yesterday for quite a while. He really dropping a good amount of knowledge, understanding on some of the maps as well as the strategies that a player would truly know. Like we said before, with his low rig setup, I'm very surprised that he's able to make it to Masters in a pretty consistent basis, but it really goes to show that he has truly improved in terms of both his macro and micro. XtinC is one of the players who has really evolved as well throughout the years, throughout the months of StarCraft 2. And from making sloppy mistakes to really trying to figure out what exactly to do in every facet of the game. But one weakness for potentially here for XtinC is really that late game. So we'll see if he can close it out early in this setting. Also, fun fact, he is a part of Team Dragon alongside Mr. Phoenix. So it goes to show local community really coming as close as possible. But anyway, right here, right now, we are gonna get the hatchery set on up for XtinC. He is gonna go for the pool as well with a metabolic boost on, and we'll see how's it gonna fly as Pol right now whips out the Reaper, trying to get the micro on. Seems like the new rig gonna be looking good so far. Proper micro right here, right now with the jetpack wheel there. XtinC losing one Zergling for free, but the Queen gonna come on, not basically gonna be the bouncer in this scenario. Plus the bomb gets the Queen onto the outside, but that just allows the Queen to actually get a free hit on. Very, very close, but no cigar actually here between our two players. Queen right now moving on forward. Pol gonna lose that one way too ambitious with that and won't get any more scouting for the next few minutes. We'll see though how this is gonna pan out for Paul. He already used up his Reaper, so he is gonna go for the Hellions instead. So in a minute or two, he's gonna try to find the harassment, try to get in the way of that natural, and burn those drones to a crisp. Still though, we are gonna see something standard here in behind. He's gonna go for the 1-1-1 and a tech lab here for Paul. Now this can go into two ways. He can go for the bio, get some upgrades on, but since the starport is coming on out, he can actually transfer that one. There you go, and whip out the battlecruiser. The battlecruiser is such a strong unit against the Zerg if caught unwary, and XtinC needs to make sure that he knows that is coming his way soon. By this point in time though, Paul, taking out his frustrations, gonna be really hammering away at the unbuildable plates, fighting for his life, fighting against these plates, really going for as many bullets as possible. In the meantime, as we were doing something pretty stupid, third hatchery now here from XtinC. Paul in the meantime going for the drive on by. Does XtinC know that this is coming? He already is in position with that queen. It seems like the Hellions unable to get the burn onto anything. He's gonna move it on forward instead. Tries to check out how the third base is up and running, but sees no drones. Unfortunate. The Hellions not gonna be anyhow effective really against any of these buildings. But hey, he's gonna try. He's gonna put the pressure on. 19 damage for 4 Hellions. Really goes to show it's not really the unit you want in a scenario like this. Now the real question here is for Paul. Will this BC work? And then what will his plan be afterwards? He might go for a third base, but XtinC is already on it, making sure that his opponents is on his toes for as much as possible. But still, Paul gonna be sealing the gap with a command center in the middle. Battlecruiser still unscouted. And at the same time, Yamato Cannon gonna be pretty much upgraded here from the Fusion Core. How many BCs is gonna be the plan here for Paul? But XtinC in the meantime, expecting something a little more on the turtle nature, will decide to go for the attack instead. The Roach is gonna be out in front. He went for the Warren earlier on, and the Zerlings getting the surround onto the supply depot. But here comes the pull. Paul gonna be making sure that he can get the repair on Bile right now into the back line, and that is gonna be another of SCPs torn apart. The opening has been breached, and it seems like this battlecruiser will be forced to go on the defensive. Supply depot is gonna come on up. Paul gonna leave the other one, and here comes more and more of these units. It's a open door right here, right now. That's what love is all about. But Paul gonna get that PC on. It's time for the reckoning yet again. Laser battery shooting on down, taking as much damage as possible. And this is going to be a hold here for Paul. The PC, unmitigated, undamaged, will be able to get as much as he can. In the meantime though, Spore Crawler right here, right now. But if Paul decides to go for the tactical warp already, he can actually get some value into this one. Seems like the Paul is respecting his opponent. He's like, oh, never mind, he's gonna go for tactical warp instead. I honestly thought that Paul was gonna be like, he probably has Spore Crawler already, but no, he's still gonna go for it. Queen now gonna go down. He moves on over to the north hand side, trying to get out of the way, and XtinC will call the GG. Paul with the victory. The BC works out against the Zerg this time. The defense comes. XtinC too late with the Spore Crawlers, doesn't get the information that he needs, and apparently the Yamato Cannon unnecessary in a matchup like this. So well played there to Mr. Paul, able to use that BC just in time. And in the end, decides on zip one forward and get things done. There you go though, that is going to be game number 1 out of 3 taken by Paul. The Terran getting on the board. First time today that we have actually gotten a Terran to get a victory. 3 Zerg, 2 Terran players, and right now 1 winner of game number 1. That is going to be Paul taking the lead. Just needs 2 more. Book a date and book his destiny against Mr. Nux. But let's look at that map pool yet again. Everdream right now gonna be the pick for XtinC instead. It's gonna be a very interesting time because as we said before and as he said yesterday, it really is a map he enjoys playing. It's a map that he knows how to play, especially in the pool right here right now. By this point in time, we are just waiting on to see our players to actually come on out and get ready for our game number 2, Everdream LE. One of the newest maps in the ladder alongside Purity Industry as well as Golden Wall. And honestly, it's the most normal map out of the 3. It pretty much has elements of a number of old school maps. You can say it has some Ephemeron in it, it has some World of Sleepers, that's what I see. It also has a bit of Nightshade and a Triton, and it seems like my memory really only remembering the latest season, but that is just basically a standard map that we have seen for a while already. It's a map that, it's a map tile set. It's a map team, honestly, and how it's designed that is very familiar to many of these players. Masters versus Masters brawl yet again, though. It's gonna be Paul versus XtinC. We'll see if Paul can shut things out and take this map, or will he fall on over and get a game number 3? That's gonna be the real question here. It's still an afternoon in the Philippines, and it is going to be some more action coming our way in this TVZ. Everdream LE coming our way very shortly. And this has been the SCPH Quarantined Tournament, the inaugural SCPH tournament funded by the community. Hopefully, we can get even more of these tourneys going. But so far, so good in terms of reception. You guys have been enjoying your time. And it's time to get into the game instead. Best of 3 action into this one. The Quarantine Tournament coming your way. Let's go down below. So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2. XtinC versus Paul yet again in this ZVT. But first things first, let's introduce our players. On the top right side, it is going to be the yellow Zerg of XtinC. And his opponents, a map ahead already, looking to make sure it's not gonna be a mirror matchup in the finals. Mr. Hard Drive himself, playing on a laptop right now, playing with something that isn't his, but he is making do and doing work. It's the Red Terran, Paul. So Paul gonna be changing things up already. Immediately onto proxy racks he goes. Will XtinC be able to scout things out? Seems like sightlights might not be there. It really depends. It's very close. That's how it's going to be. So we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and hopefully Paul gonna be able to actually get those racks on, and we'll see how XtinC is gonna respond in kind. So already he's gonna go for the pool. He did go for the hatch first, though, still relying on that macro game. But in the meantime, does XtinC spot things out? No, it's way too far off on the eastern corner here on Everdream. The real question here is how long would that Overlord take to actually get on to scout out that there is no wall in front. I like to hear from Paul. He knows that it's usually going to be the Overlords that get the scouting information on, and they're quite slow, so he will have a bunch of time to set up the racks first before having to really try and defend against whatever XtinC brings to the table. In the meantime, bunker now being set on up. And here comes another drone. Does it see it coming? Gets a glimpse of it. And Paul knows he's exposed. He's gonna bring the Marine on over already. XtinC tried to micro away with that drone. And in the meantime, Zerg is now gonna try and get produced as well. More and more Zerglings. Very important. Overlord gonna be able to scout out that there is no natural. And in the meantime, Gatling guns are ablazing. The hatchery first opening not really working out so far for XtinC because he wasn't able to get the scout onto the cheese. And he has to hide with these 4 Zerglings. So for now, it seems like the natural is just basically gonna die here to the hand of the Gal guns. He has a retreat point. Into the bunker he goes. He's gonna be able to stay alive and sustain those Marines. But here comes the Queen already out in front. Still gonna be backing on out. Zerglings will do the same. Turn things around. Trying to go for the fight, but these are Zerglings freely given against his opponents. Paul, with a successful bunker rush right now, will be mitigating any kind of macro-oriented plays here from XtinC. Shots not keeping on coming, and Paul really looking to hug that bunker, but doesn't go inside. He feels like he still has the advantage, and he's pressing it. Drones immediately torn apart, the larva unable to really turn into anything by this point. And XtinC forced to stay on the high ground. Still though, both sides on 1 base to 1 base. But in a situation like this is really good here for our Terran. Orbital Commands gives him the advantage, and the Zerg always wants to be a base ahead to keep up in the economics. He loses 1 Marine though, thanks to those Broodlords, but hey, the Broodlings rather, but hey, the low ground now taken here by Paul. So it seems like XtinC gonna get his hand forced. He goes over to the roaches, and he will go for the lair as well. Thing though to note is he can't really mask things up as much as he would like, and has to be really careful at the number of Ravagers he looks for balance in the first place. Baldo looking to connect. He has 3 of them into the field already. Good way to actually try and get the hamper and the damage on against that bunker. But hey, Ravagers right now onto the corner. Transfusion connects onto 1. And it seems like the Ravager is trying to march on up, but 1 already gonna go down. not the worst trade, honestly, here for Paul. He knows that those corrosive bile tosses are gonna be the biggest threat to him and his lovely bunker, his lovely home. But here comes the march on forward yet again, Queens, as well as these Ravagers looking to get in position. Transfuse is gonna be huge to keep Ravagers alive in the first place. But the bunker right now filled up to the brim. Paul now scouting around, sees his opponent, is going for that lair tech. Gonna see it pop out actually, so he knows his opponent is on a tier 2 by this point. The real question here is though, what is gonna be planned right here right now for XtinC? He's going for more Ravagers, making sure that he can go for the bus. But at the same time, it's going to be Cloak Tech here and now from our starports. It seems like Banshee is going to be looking to wail out with some action and keep those missiles falling on down to the ground. Anyway though, Paul having a good time. He has a barracks up on top, and it's just like, I see everything that you're trying to do. So it really goes to show Paul using information as much as possible, looking to make sure that he knows what his opponent is up to in the first place. But does he know that there are things waiting on the outside? Never mind, it seems like the Ravagers are going to be backing on out instead. Command Center now looking to go for a third base here on Everdrain. Going to be a pretty potent as well as relatively safe transition. Anyway, the Hellions now onto the forefront yet again. 16 drones already going down. That's a huge barbecue and a half. And XtinC's chances slipping on away. He does seal the gap with the Queens, but at the same time, the hatchery is not set on up as of yet. XtinC now sending in those drones to try and get some more minerals back into the fight. But Paul, in the meantime, in position, gets another cook. 3 workers right here, right now. Immediate wake-up call for everyone on the stream as well as the game, because XtinC is running out of money, running out of workers, and running out of time and chances to actually try and take this one. He's going for long distance mining. GG is called. The Hellions able to get infiltration on, and seems like that early pressure forcing XtinC to stay on one base was enough for Paul to take the victory. And that is that, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 2 taken by Paul, and well done to him. He will also move on to our finals. Single elimination in a small bracket, a very quick affair, but hey, it's been fun, and these games have been going as quick as possible. So here is going to be our final results on to this series. It was a victory on Eternal Empire as well as Everdream for Mr. Paul. Simulacrum not even gonna get played yet again. And there you go, guys, visual representation. The Terran finding the opportunity to get the bunker rush to go, and a little too late again from XtinC in terms of that reaction. Similar scenarios in similar games, and really costing him in the end. Seems like though we are going to be moving straight into our grand finals in just a bit. So we'll be right back, guys. Look to set things up for our best of 5. And don't go away, our last match of the day going to be coming your way.